Hi everybody, Jillian here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to do a flip through of my 2018 December daily album. I chose the 3x8 album for 2018 because I was expecting a newborn in the month of December and knew that a 6x8 album, which I had done for 3 years prior, was not going to work for me. So I did a video walking through the foundation pages for this album, and that's going to get into a lot of the technical things. So if you want to know how I did certain things, be sure to check out that video. And I think in there I also include how I finally made foundation pages finally click for me. It also talks about how I use the storytelling with December daily class, which I really recommend, to come up with a couple journaling ideas, story prompts to run through the month of December, which I'll point out in here as I go along. But if you want to see technical parts of that stuff, be sure to check out that flip through. If you're coming over from the foundation pages video, welcome. Let's get started. So in that video, the foundation pages, I talk about how this came together and what exactly I used, and then I just watched that video and kind of was a little embarrassed about how dorky I was, but it was also fun to see the changes that I made. First one that I made was changing out this Merry Days patterned paper to go underneath this 3x8 transparency from Allie Edwards. I think I know I purchased the main kit last year, and then I have a bunch of stuff left over from past kits, and then the Merry Days collection were pretty much the three primary things I used. I wanted to keep supplies to a minimum. So the first page is just like I thought it was going to be, a little introduction to our family of 4 with the supplies actually in place that I had pulled out. I added some ribbon to my journaling card here. And then I have a lot of flip-up pockets. I love the 3x8 album size. The only thing I don't love is the spine is so small. So this year for 2019, I chose the 4x6 album because I like the smaller size, smaller than a 6x8, but I really need that big spine because chipboard is my favorite embellishment. So here, flip-up pocket with some washi tape, some hidden journaling here. And it was a rough month. My son was born the last week in November, and he ended up needing surgery the last week of December. And then throughout the month, we were at the doctor a lot, and I didn't get to work on this every day. I actually let it frustrate me a little bit, like not being able to do that kind of stuff. So it took me probably until about February or March to actually complete this. And when I did get to work on it in the month of December, I was really glad that I had foundation pages and prompts for stories like this one. And I already forgot what I was going to say next. Oh, and I worked several days at a time. So I didn't work on it every day. I worked on it every 4 days. So this was one of the journaling series that I included in here, this word smelling. I set myself up to document things that I was smelling throughout the month of December, listening to, eating, watching, things like that. So you'll see those words repeated throughout here using the same supplies, so the same stamps and the same ink. I also had a bunch of these number tags left over from years past, and they make their way in here, and on the back of them I typically put either some patterned paper or a photo, like I did here. So this was pretty much what I thought it was going to be, a wish list from my boys' point of view. And then I just documented kind of everyday things that we did, like when we went to a park on a nice day, or when a family member came over to help out with the baby, things like that. I've got a 3x8 transparency here with a little chipboard star on top. Just some festive photos. Another thing that was really helpful, actually, while I was in the hospital with my youngest, I watched the travel product play class because I had never worked in a 3x8 album before, and that was really helpful to get ideas for doing the project in a 3x8 album size. No one's asking me to say that. I bought all of the classes that I take from Allie's site, and I really like them. She really does a good job. So if you're new to the 3x8 size, consider paying the $20 or whatever it is to get some ideas for how to work in a 3x8 album, because it's really good content. So here I have a piece of patterned paper, and then I just used an assortment of stars to go in the patterned stars. So chipboard and a star sticker and a fabric star, and then another one over here to document the day. And then I really didn't finish my journaling, so here's one that I have to go back and do. Another type of like running journaling theme that I wanted to do was a December day from the point of view from each person in my family. So this day was my son, so I need to go back in there, and I think I have my notes saved somewhere, and actually write it down. This was a 2x2 page protector, and I cut down the 3 rows into just one, and stamped my little listening out here, and just screenshot the album covers that I was listening to on my phone. I have a number stamp with some gold embossed stars on there, and then some layered bits from the Merry Days collection from Crepe Paper. More patterned paper. Another flip-up pocket. And then you'll see here that I have 2 3x4s, and on the back side it's a 3x8 like full page photo, and so I just glue the page protectors together for that. And then I really liked the challenge of working in a 3x8. It really forced me to get a little creative to get more creative when taking photos. So this is our Christmas card setup. I made like a little flat lay of our envelopes and stamps and all of those things to document what our card looked like this year. And then I cut out the center or the sentiment from one of our extra cards, and I layered it on top of a 3x8 journaling card from Allie, layered on again on top of a piece of Merry Days patterned paper, and then, as you do, embellished with stars. This was another photo idea that I knew I wanted to include in here, getting a new stocking for my new son. So I did a little flat lay here on a white foam core board and told that story up here. Again, one of these older tags with some patterned paper on the back, and then my number for this day. This was pretty cool. I contributed to a book, and I got an advanced copy in the mail that day, or thereabout. And so that was a really fun, unique story to tell for this month. One I hadn't planned, but was a nice surprise. This is one of my favorite days, just the spread. I really like these large manila tags that Allie includes in her shop, and so I layered some patterned paper and a die cut piece with a photo. And then I love this look too, this patterned paper just washi taped to the pocket above it, and it's a little flip up to house another photo there. I used some gold scallop like decorative tape here, chipboard stars, and then the number stamps that Allie offered last year. And then this is my next, kind of like from their point of view. So these are photos that my husband took at work, and obviously need to get that journaling done too. I'm really hoping I have this written down somewhere. So this was fun. I used some patterned paper that I had. It's like a cityscape, and I layered that on top of the tag and then clipped the photo on top. This is probably my least favorite spread, and it's because of this green icing. I spent so much time trying to make this work and making these black and white and then brightening them up and then maybe rethinking this one and changing out this patterned paper, and I still don't love it, but I love that it's in here, that the story is in here. Here, again, I wanted to include some repetition, so I have that same pattern paper with the stars inside, another number tag, and then here is where we really get into the nitty-gritty of my son's digestive problem that he had. So we were spending a lot of time at the doctor documenting just the hard part of it using the ugh card, because there were certainly ugh days. So I just got that down. He's totally fine now, but it was a rough month. This page is probably one of my favorites. If you watch the foundation page video, I pretty much set this up. I had this photo of my 5-year-old in the exact same jammies, and so I talked about how I did this part over here. I just used some white number stickers from either Allie Edwards or Studio Calico, and then some Studio Calico alpha stickers with their initial here. And I love it. I'm so glad that I thought of this and thought to include it. It's such a cool story. I definitely took inspiration from, I think it was Pam Baldwin's contribution to the travel product play class. I created this insert here based on what she did, using a tag for some journaling, a 2x3 photo down here to like build out this pocket with patterned paper. And so yeah, it's just a really great class, and I really love how this came out. Another 3x8 photo, and another one on the back side. No real story for this day. This pretty much sums up my month. Happy and tired. Now this was pretty cool. I like how this came out, so I'll spend some time talking about the construction of this. This is Christmas Eve, and so I chose to focus on the traditions that we have for Christmas Eve. That's what this chipboard says down here. So I used this red and white striped washi tape that is super old, and I used chipboard from different sets, different years, to document each tradition. So I had the photo printed to about 2x3, and then the bottom part is journaling. And so I have 4 of these total. So our church service, our like present tradition the night before. I have a flip up here actually of our oldest in the church service for the first time instead of having to be out in the lobby with me. This is like part of the bulletin from church that night. So with patterned paper on the back, a sticker from that Merry Days collection, and then again more journaling with a smaller photo. So our stockings tradition, our family photo tradition. So I really like how that came out. And then just some extra photos from the 24th. And then for day 25, I pulled out the 2x2 pockets again because it's a great way to get a bunch of photos into a smaller space. I did an elaborate flat lay with some stocking contents on some white foam core board, included a tab over here. I had fun stamping some stars onto the this white chipboard number, and then putting a phrase sticker on top of that. And then just more time with family. And then at the end here, we kind of get into hospitalization and our older one at the grandparents' house and being in the hospital with our newborn. And so that story is going to be told in detail in his baby book, but I probably on these last 2 pages here want to spend some time at least talking about like the end of December. And then here is just a keepsake that I wanted to include that was in my stocking. And then in here, I include all of the return labels from people who send us Christmas cards, which I found to be really helpful when trying to find people's addresses because I don't have an address book. So my December Daily album has been the place that I look to find people's addresses to send our Christmas cards out. So that is it. This is such a fun project. And that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd be happy to get back to you. This is my favorite memory keeping project of the year, and I'm so excited to participate again. And if you're looking for more December Daily inspiration, I'll be sure to link my favorites, both my videos and others' videos, down in the video description below for you to check out. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and see you soon.